Social Academy. This session is going to be very important for you as we are going to learn about or going to prepare about the important questions which can appear for our annual exams. The topic is from the history class 10 standard chapter number 3, impact of the British rule in India. If we talk about that chapter, the chapter is quite very big with number of subtopics which begins from the civil service, judicial system, police system, military system, land tax systems in the name of Jamindari, Maharwari, Raitwari, effects of the land tax system, education system, effects of the education system in India, and furthermore regarding the constitutional development. But among these all subtopics, which are very important, which has to be stressed more so that the reading can be made little bit reduced and make ourselves perfect in that particular chapter. So here it is going to be very interesting from the from the 1 mark question to 2 marks question to 3 marks question and to up to the 4 marks questions. So if we go with the chapter impact of the British rule in India, important questions for the 1 marks question. For the 1 marks questions. So here what it can be asked. Now, who introduced the civil service? Who introduced the civil service? I am moving with 1 mark question now. Who introduced the civil service? Second, who brought judicial system? Who brought judicial system? Again 1 mark. Right? Then comes who introduced police system, an efficient police system? Again 1 mark. Right? Next, what do you mean by policy of assertion? Again it is of 1 mark. Very important questions, right? Who introduced the civil service? Who brought judicial system? Who introduced police system? What do you mean by the policy of assertion? And who was the first viceroy of India? These are the very important questions of 1 marks from this chapter. Again I repeat, who introduced the civil service, who brought judicial system, who introduced police system, what do you mean by policy of assertion, and who was the first viceroy of the country called as India. Okay, so these are the 1 marks questions. Now let me move to the 2 marks questions. 2 marks questions also plays a very important role. Dear, one thing we have to understand here in that for the 1 marks questions, you are not going to extend your answer more than 2 lines. In 1 line it should be finished. Now here in the 2 marks, for the 2 marks, what may be going to be asked. Now it may be going to be asked in the form of what are the features of Raitwari system? Okay, in the same form, what are the features of Jamindari system? These are all of 2 marks, very important questions which are even appeared regularly. They are being asked in our annual examination. Then, what are the provisions? What are the provisions of 1909 Act? Very important question. In the same way, what are the provisions of 1919 Act? 1909 Minto Morley Act, 1919 Montague-Chelmsford Act. These are very important because 1909 onwards, divide and rule policy in the form of separate electoral college, which was being brought up to broke the unity of the country, called as India, to create a disturbance among the Indians in the name of Hindus and in the name of Muslims. So here 1909 and 1919 act is very important. Moreover, with this, one more act is very important because it is called as a 1773 regulating act. It's because there in that act, Edmund Burke, who mentions in the British Parliament, was a member of the British Parliament, who says the tax which is being collected by the England government from the East India Company, it is a criminal tax. Edmund Burke. So here, what are the provisions of 1773 Act? Also one of the important question for the 2 marks. So these all are the questions. So 5 questions which are there, they are very important questions for the 2 marks question. In the same way, let me go with the which one, with the 3 marks question now. Now here in this 3 marks, before moving to the 3 marks, here in the 2 marks, the number of questions which you have taken, it should be in your mind that for the 2 marks question, you are going to write 4 points. You are going to write 4 points for every 2 marks questions. Each point will be considered in the form of half marks. So 4 points if you have written, half plus half is equal to total 2 marks will be there. Okay, so in the 3 marks question, now very important segment again here from this chapter, 3 marks questions which are going to be asked, and 2 very important which are been regularly asked in the exam. One is, what were the impact of land tax system? Now this is of 3 marks. Okay, next, what were the impact of British education system? What were the impact of land tax system? What were the impact of the British education system? Okay, and next, what were the provisions of 1935 Act? What are the provisions of 1935 Act? So these are the very important 3 marks questions are there. And here also for the 3 marks, how many points you are going to write? You are going to write 6 points for each question. 6 points for each questions. Okay. No such 4 mark questions are going to be asked from the impact of the British rule in the India. So here 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks plays a very important role in the chapter called as the impact of the British rule in India. Furthermore, I will come with the other chapters, and there also we are going to discuss about the number of questions which can be asked in the annual exam or which have already appeared in the exam for the 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks as well as for the 4 marks. If you like this video, like it, share it and also comment, and let me get to know that what more interesting things can be brought up in my further videos.